and welcome back to the Healing Highway, the space between where you were and where you're headed next. This episode is for the ones holding it all together with a smile that's starting to crack a little, and for the ones who need permission to step away, even for just a little while. This is the final episode in my road to healing, the stories I wrote to unplug, drive, and heal. I hope you'll see how these 7 stories created the foundation of faith and good courage, where I learned what He wanted me to do with my life. Drive, heal, and tell them what I've done for you. This is Chapter 7 called Unplug, Drive, Heal. I didn't set out to unplug, I set out to get away. But atop Sitgreaves Pass, at the lookout between Kingman and Oatman, with the desert stretched out before me like an old friend who doesn't ask questions, I held down the power button on my phone and turned it off. Not airplane mode, not do not disturb, but off. And I'll be honest with you, I panicked for a second. What if someone needed me? What if I missed something important? What if I got lost? But then a funny thing happened. Nothing did. I didn't get lost, nobody exploded, the sky didn't fall. What did happen was something I hadn't felt in a long time. Stillness. Not boredom, but stillness. The kind where your shoulders drop without asking permission, and your breath, well, it finally makes it all the way in. You see, burnout doesn't kick the door down, it shows up slow. One yes when you meant to say no, one late night, one more load you carry even though your hands are already full. You don't notice how far you've drifted. Not until peace feels like a stranger and joy feels like something that only happens to other people. And that's where Route 66 comes in. It doesn't fix everything, but it does strip everything down. When you're driving solo, the distractions fall away. No emails, no headlines, no buzzing in your pocket. Just pavement, just sky. And the slow, steady rhythm of your thoughts, well, they're unfiltered and raw. At first, it was unnerving, like walking into a dark room, but give it a minute and your eyes will adjust. And you start to see what's been hiding in all the noise. Out there, I made myself a few promises, simple ones. I'll rest before I break. I'll say no without guilt. I'll stop trying to earn what I already deserve. Grace. I didn't make those promises in a meeting room or a pew. I made them in a beat-up truck that smelled like, well, coffee and pine tree air freshener, when the sun dropped behind a Joshua tree. There's something sacred about that kind of solitude, when no one's watching you, no one's waiting, no one's measuring your worth by how much you get done. Just you and the hum of your tires and an occasional breeze that says, you're still alive, still whole, still here. I think we've forgotten how healing it can be to step away. Not forever, not some grand disappearing act. Just long enough to find the sound of your own soul again, to hear that voice beneath the titles and the to-do list. The one that whispers, hey, you still with me? Route 66 has a way of pulling that voice back out of hiding. One morning near Amboy, I watched the sun rise over an empty stretch of road. No music, no photo, just stood there, hands in my pocket, wind in my ears. It felt like church, like a second chance. And when I made it to Santa Monica, I didn't feel cured. I didn't feel transformed. I just felt honest. Like I'd returned to something I hadn't realized I'd lost. Not a better version of me, just the real one. The one who knows when to stop, when to breathe, when to unplug. Maybe you're reading or listening to this at the end of your rope. Maybe you've forgotten what rest really feels like. Maybe you've been holding up the world with a smile that's starting to crack. Here's the gentle truth. You're allowed to step away, to shut it down, to let the road hold you for a while. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to know when to let go. So unplug, drive, heal. and let the hum of Route 66 sing you back to life. You've been traveling the Healing Highway, a 7-part companion series for the weary soul. Thank you for making this journey with me. Travel well, my friend. Have faith and good courage.